Hi everybody. Today is August 5th and I wanted to welcome you all back for the next MS Views and News podcast. In today's podcast, I will be discussing a blog entree that I made on July 20th, and the subject of that was, as a child, you or I might have had MS and not have even known it. So please take a few minutes and listen to this podcast, and then if you can, visit our blog and look up the same title name and look at the blog posting, and if you can, to please leave your comment of this podcast on that blog posting, okay? Or otherwise you could just answer me back however you please. You could send an email to Stuart, that is S-T-U-A-R-T, at msviewsandnews.org. Thank you very much. There are many of you out there that listen to me, well, not listen to me, well, maybe you have listened to me in the last couple of weeks of podcasting, but others just know from what I do on the blog and the website and via Facebook or Twitter and whatnot. And many of you out there have no clue that I also have multiple sclerosis. In fact, this is what propels me to do all that I have been doing. It was in, I think, 2003 when I had to stop working and I needed to find something to do to fill my day. And so this is what I chose. I chose to start sending out an email newsletter to my local area, just, sending information about multiple sclerosis to people locally from a support group. And at that time, there was only 25 people. Now, my e-listing is not just local, it's reaching 73 countries. I was actually diagnosed in December of 1998, and I say finally because, like many of us, we went through years of what's going on with me. Why do I have tingling in my body? Why am I getting headaches? Why am I have problems seeing correctly? Why was I diagnosed with optic neuritis? Anxiety disorders, migraines, pain, tingling, numbness, difficulty speaking or swallowing. And recently I even blogged about going way back in time to like when I was a child. I mean, if we knew then what we know now about multiple sclerosis, who knows? I may have been diagnosed when I was a teenager. I was just saying that, I had blogged something back in July about the possibility of, as a child, I, or maybe even you, may have already had multiple sclerosis. And who's to really say yes or no what might have actually been? I remember being considered lazy, a daydreamer, a klutz, clumsy. My parents always yelling at me when we went on road trips. I'm not stopping again to use the bathroom. You don't need it. Learn to hold it. Yeah. Well, I couldn't. I had bladder problems then, and I still have bladder problems now, and I'm sure many of you feel the same way. The bit with being a klutz. I mean, so many times I went to go get handed something and I dropped it. I couldn't run properly. I was slow. I had problems in phys ed class or gym, whatever you want to call it. I often couldn't do what a lot of the other kids could do, especially gymnastics. I mean, that was just not going to happen. I got dizzy all the time, vertigo. I mean, now we call it vertigo. Back then, I was just, they say, looking for an excuse not to climb the ropes or do the parallel bars or do the ring thing where you grab the things and you pull yourself up and you try to do flips over flips and whatnot. Well, I couldn't do any of those things. And, I was less coordinated than the next guy. But this is what it is. And so there were many things going on back then, and it wasn't just that. How about all the pain that I had as a kid and always being told that it was growing pains? Yeah, okay, growing pains. So I would be called a kvetch, a hypochondriac. How many of you went through this? It's just too much. I mean, we got those labels back then, and now we seem to possibly know better. I mean, did we have MS growing up all those years and never realized it? I had mono when I was a late teenager. I think I was 16 or 17. And then I had a relapse from the mono like 6 months later. Or was it a relapse to mono, or was it my first true exacerbation? Again, these are things that we'll never know, and we could just go forward from where we are now. But again, who's to say that we did not have MS as a child? So if you want, where am I looking? I'm looking down at my blog entry, just so you know. And if you want to go there and look at it, you'll see it under the title of, as a child, you or I might have had MS and not even have known it. So take a look and leave a comment. All right? Many others have left comments about this already via Facebook and via that blog entry. And to get to my blog, it's just Stu's Views and MS News. Go to my website, www.msviewsandnews.org, and on the left side of the page, there is a link to connect to the blog. Have a great day and a great coming